In the year 37 AD, Rome celebrated. Wide sunlit Roman forums, packed with the cheering crowd, banners waving jubilantly. Their new emperor was young, generous, beloved, the son of a war hero, cheered by crowds who had waited years for him. Within a year, that same young man was declaring himself a living god, talking to the moon and putting his own horse up for the highest office in Rome. Something happened in that first year, and historians have argued about what for 2,000 years. To understand how it happened, you have to go back to the beginning, to the boy the soldiers loved. His real name was Gaius, but the soldiers who watched him grow up in their camps gave him a nickname. They dressed the little boy in a miniature army uniform, tiny boots and all. They called him Caligula. It means little boots. It was a name for a mascot, a good luck charm. Nobody watching the cheerful little boy could have guessed what he would become, because Caligula's childhood had a darkness underneath it. One by one, his family was destroyed by the paranoid old emperor Tiberius. His mother, his brothers, all gone, exiled, starved. Young Caligula survived by learning to smile at the man who had killed his family. Imagine that. Years of hiding your true face, swallowing your grief, pretending to love the person you hate the most in the world. Historians think those years left scars that never healed. And then, in his mid-20s, Tiberius died, and Little Boots was handed the entire Roman Empire. At first, he was wonderful. He freed prisoners Tiberius had jailed unjustly. He recalled the exiles. He paid the people generous gifts, threw them lavish games, and gave the crowds the spectacle they craved. Rome adored him. For 7 months, Caligula was the golden young emperor everyone had hoped for. And then he got sick. We don't know exactly what the illness was. Fever, maybe. Something that gripped him for weeks and nearly killed him. All of Rome held its breath. Crowds gathered outside the palace, praying. Some people publicly offered their own lives to the gods in exchange for his. And then he recovered. Rome rejoiced. But the man who rose from that sickbed was not the man who had lain down in it. The change was not subtle. The generous young emperor was gone. In his place was something cold, erratic, and dangerous. He began killing senators, allies, family, anyone he suspected, anyone he simply tired of. He forced fathers to attend the executions of their own sons, then invited them to dinner the same night and expected them to laugh with him. He was said to have wished the Roman people had a single neck, so he could cut through all of them at once. The money he inherited ran dry. Years of Tiberius's savings, gone on games and gifts and gold. So Caligula got creative. He invented outrageous taxes, pretty much like how they do today. He auctioned off the lives of gladiators. He's even said to have opened a brothel inside his own palace to raise funds. The Emperor of Rome, running a con out of his own home. Pretty much like today, huh? But it's the theatrical madness that made him legend. Caligula didn't just want to rule Rome. He wanted to be a god. He had the heads removed from statues of the gods and replaced with his own. He dressed as Jupiter, as Venus, as Neptune. He built a bridge just so he could talk to the moon, and claimed the goddess visited him at night. And then there was the sea. Caligula marched his entire army to the coast, lined them up against the ocean as if for battle, and ordered them to attack the water. They came back with seashells, war trophies, he called them, spoils taken from the god of the sea, and the horse. His favorite racehorse, Incitatus, lived better than most senators. A marble stable, an ivory manger, servants of its own. And Caligula announced he intended to make the horse a consul, the highest elected office in Rome. Whether he meant it or whether it was the ultimate insult to a senate he despised, we still aren't sure. Here's the thing about ruling through fear. Everyone around you is afraid, and frightened people, cornered long enough, eventually decide they have nothing left to lose. Caligula had personally humiliated the officers of his own guard, the very men whose entire job was to protect his body. One of them, a soldier named Cassius Chaerea, he mocked mercilessly day after day. And that was a fatal mistake. In January of 41 AD, less than 4 years into his reign, they caught him alone in a narrow corridor beneath the palace. The boy the soldiers had once cheered for was killed by soldiers. He was 28 years old. Here's what still haunts historians about Caligula. Almost everything we know about him was written by people who hated him. Senators and historians with every reason to make a dead tyrant look as monstrous as possible. The horse, the moon, the sea, some of it may be exaggerated, some may be pure invention. But even the smallest version of Caligula tells the same story. A traumatized young man handed unlimited power with no one left alive who could tell him no. Maybe the lesson isn't that Caligula was a monster. Maybe it's that absolute power handed to a broken person will always find its own way to break everything around it. Little Boots was cheered as a child, adored as a young emperor, and remembered as a madman. And somewhere between those three, a real person got lost. If you'd hold up under absolute power better than Caligula did, which, let's be honest, is a low bar, subscribe. There's a lot more history down here they never taught you. And tell me in the comments, which mad ruler should we cover next?